What was your first Ant experience like? Have you met him?
I've never met him, no.
He's a very charismatic person.
Yeah.
Man, Ant is like unbelievable. Like, I remember I probably can't say my first experience with him, like exactly word for word what he said. But what I will say about Ant is like just not knowing him and then, you know, getting to Minnesota for the first time and just seeing how like of a good of a person he is. Like he's like an unbelievable teammate. And like for somebody to be like, I've been around assholes. Like guys like, I love Kobe. Kobe was an asshole, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And like that is my brother. I love him to death. But like that was just his mentality. Like he was just like a no BS, no nonsense, like, but like tough love type mentor. Like Ant, like he has like the ultimate competitive drive, but he is like your biggest fan, like biggest like cheerleader, like teammate. Like he wants to see you succeed. Like,
is that a generational thing? I think about that because like I feel like when I watch, it's like Kobe was the last like in that Jordan way that just like doesn't give a fuck about anybody else's feelings. I'm like, is it because we are in the more, I don't want to say like we're enlightened or more therapized, but men are just like sort of evolving. And sometimes you think like, is it a real evolution? Is it kind of the way we talk about it? Because human nature is still human nature. But do you feel like that is a generational thing that there, like, will there be another asshole? Like, I mean, in the great way, the asshole legends that we love.
That's a great question. I think it is. I think just in human nature, I think we've learned how to communicate maybe better.
Yeah.
Like in a sense, like we're more aware. And
because for me watching and like I assume that he kind of is the asshole in the way that you love. So you telling me that he's not, I'm like, oh, like fuck, are all the assholes gone? Like, you know.
Yeah. And I think like it's also like situational too. Like Cole was an asshole, but like he was also like very charismatic too. Like, and I think that was like the development in his career. It was like, oh no, like I have to learn how to lead Pau Gasol different. I have to learn how to lead Andrew Bynum different. So like Ant is like super, super charismatic, but like when it comes to that competitive drive of like, I want to take your head off every single night, he has the same thing Kobe has. Like he is the ultimate competitor. Like I remember our first practice and I'm coming back from injury and like this is my first time like, you know, I dislocated my shoulder. So this is like really my first time like playing. And we're in practice and coach splits us up. We're on different teams. And he's kicking my ass, bro. And he was like, come here, Ju. He was like, what the fuck you think this is? Like, he's talking crazy. I went home. He don't know this. I went home. I'm pissed. I'm like, bro, like, ain't no way. Like, I'm not letting this happen. So, like, he got that same competitive drive, but, like, also, like, early in the season, I hit a game winner versus Phoenix in Minnesota, and he's, like, the first person running up to me. You know, hugging me like, welcome to Minnesota, Jew. Hell yeah. Like playing songs in the locker room. My name went like, you know what I mean? So he's like, he's your biggest cheerleader in that sense, but he's still like, he wants to win.
Yeah.
You know, and he works that way too. So
it is a super interesting question about whether that has, because I just think about even with this show, you know, it's like we sort of have everybody from around the league come on the show. And if we were to look at like Team USA, for example, the guys on Team USA, like there isn't an asshole. There isn't like, oh my God, that person is like, this person is wired in the way that you're describing. And I also wonder if maybe some of that is, I think the communication thing is really important. And then also like with how social media is, with how like every single thing gets picked up all the time. Yeah. It's a lot harder to get away with that than you like the stuff that Jordan was doing in the 90s. If there was Twitter, you know?
Yeah. I think that's what, I mean, obviously before the Kendrick and Drake thing really went nuclear. Like I think I kind of appreciate that about Kendrick with Control and stuff. It's like I need a little bit of this fire to like I have to come at everybody every now and then because that's my creative like kind of juice. Because it seemed like okay, I'm sure that maybe they're all in a room, everybody's kind of all right, you know. But on record, because hip hop, maybe more than any other kind of music, just because there are no like real beef records in classic rock. Like Led Zeppelin might have hated Fleetwood Mac, but they weren't like, you know, taking shots on record. But which would have been kind of amazing, actually. Yeah, Lindsay, you bitch. But I think that you kind of like that, but then also like, are we a kind of better society because we're not all like, I mean, I don't know. Social media also sometimes does bring out the worst in people too, because it's easy to insult and take shots when you're not in front of somebody.
How do you, if you're working with somebody, because you work with so many different types of people, and these are the most talented artists in the world, but some of them have their own, whether it's an asshole or they're just difficult or whatever you want to call it. Like, not everyone is easy to deal with all the time. How have you kind of learned to harness that?
I've been really lucky in a way that actually I haven't like ever been. All the people that I've really made music with and got deep with, whatever, Bruno, Gaga, Amy, people like, they're not assholes. And I don't ever like to give anybody a pass. Like, for the level of fame they have, they're actually a good person. It's like, you should just be a good person anyway. The greatest artists are insanely competitive. They're probably really like, they have a certain amount of insecurity, and that's what's driven them to be as great as they are. So everybody's this balance of being a superhero on the outside with this kind of soft core, right? Like, that's probably what makes their art so great. But as a producer in a room with those people, you're just there to keep the outside world completely out, make them feel as safe and this super power version of themselves as possible.